Haribo to all my brothers and my sisters, and welcome back to Astral Motivation. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon on January 11th, and this is going to be a very powerful first new moon of 2024. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Astral Motivation. My name is Vinodini Dasi. I am a Vedic astrologer and Dharma teacher. I love to study ancient knowledge, so if you're a seeker and love to study ancient knowledge as well, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss any of the nectar. Alrighty guys, let's see what this upcoming powerful new moon is going to be bringing for all of us.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Alrighty, and first and foremost, make sure that you go check out your yearly prediction, your ascendant sun and moon sign, in order for you to get a full forecast. Those videos are already in my channel. Alrighty guys, first let's talk about what a new moon is. A new moon is the perfect moment for us to plant our seeds of intention. This is when the moon and the sun are coming together and the moon looks completely black, and this creates a new moon. And with the unison of the sun and the moon coming together, the sun being the Atma and the moon being the mind and the emotions, this means that we come into this very powerful alignment where we are able to actually make some very powerful intentions. And this creates a new beginning of 6-month cycle. So new moons are fantastic to go within, especially the 2 days before the new moon, 1 day before we go into this zone of the dark moon. And this is a time where everything is asking for us to really go within, to really introspect. And to be honest, guys, I really feel like this is the actual beginning of 2024, because with the new moon energy and the beginning of the year, this is the perfect energy for us to actually set our intentions for the new year, our year resolutions, and to move forward. When we just had the new year happen, we still had Mercury retrograding and Jupiter had just moved forward. There could have been still a lot of confusion, maybe not having the clarity of what it is that we're going to be doing for next year. And instead of feeling just comfortable with it, we could have felt a little bit anxious that maybe we're not prepared. But now this new moon is the actual beginning of 2024, where all the planets are moving forward. We're having this powerful new moon that is beginning the year of 2024. And this is now more of an energy to actually set intentions and to actually plant seeds that are going to grow in the garden of this upcoming 2024. So this new moon is fantastic. If you have not done your rituals or your year's resolutions, or even just sat with yourself to really integrate 2023 and really start having a better vision for 2024, this is the perfect new moon for you to do it. Especially the days before and after the new moon, you're going to be having a lot of insights. Okay, so take advantage of this powerful new moon to begin something powerful, or at least to set the intention to begin something powerful. Now, this new moon in Vedic astrology is going to be falling in the sign of Sagittarius. It's actually at the last degrees of Sagittarius. And this makes it for a very beautiful new moon, makes it for a very optimistic, full of faith new moon. Sagittarius is known for being the sign of Dharma. It rules over the house of Dharma, the house of religion, the house of truth, the house of wisdom. And so Sagittarian energy has a very beautiful and optimistic and idealistic sort of energy. And since it's ruled by Jupiter, it gives us a more expansive energy. It gives us a more happy-go-lucky energy of expansion, because that's the only way to really move forward. We can't really feel expansive if we're feeling constrictive, if we're feeling tense. It's about expansion of ourselves into 2024. And so new moons in Sagittarius usually bring a perfect opportunity to rekindle our faith, to rekindle our optimism, to maybe transform our belief systems. If there are some belief systems that are actually hindering you a lot, that are not allowing for you to really move forward in the ways that you really want to move forward, then this is definitely the time where you can start releasing these energies, and it's going to be so much more beneficial for you. Also, it's a wonderful time to maybe set intentions to travel. If you've been wanting to travel this year, then like set the intentions. Okay, I want to travel by this time. I want to travel here and there. Sagittarius energy really wants you to explore, really wants you to put the energy of adventure in your life, because this is the only way to really start something correctly. And we're going to get deeper into the understandings of the nakshatra, because the nakshatra speaks specifically about this. But in the Sagittarian energy, is about believing in ourselves. It's about having powerful righteousness and belief systems that don't oppress us. So it's not a love of God by hate, it's a love of God by happiness, of knowing that we're protected and that we're going to be cared for always. So Sagittarius has a very optimistic side. So if you guys felt that 2023 was just very constrictive, like a part of your life was just like, oh, like I just felt so limited. I felt like I couldn't move. I felt very limited. I felt very constricted in this job, in this relationship, in this situation, in this way of being, in this habit, whatever it may be. This is a time where life is saying, then break the shackles of that and allow yourself to start something new, expand your energy. And wherever it is that Sagittarius falls in your chart, that is exactly where you are going to be having this new beginning happening for you. So it's going to be different for everybody. And if you would like to know specifically what is going on with you, then definitely make sure to have a reading with me. I have a reading right now. I have a second special for the beginning of the year. So if you guys are interested in having a special on your natal chart readings, where we can go deep into not only your natal chart but also 2024, then make sure to have a book a reading with me today. And you'll find the description here below, all the links for that. So that is the new moon in Sagittarius, guys. Now let's talk about the aspects, because these aspects are powerful. And this is really when we start talking about what this new moon is really going to bring for all of us. So first and foremost, we can see here the new moon. The new moon happens when we have obviously the sun and moon together. And this, as I mentioned, brings the soul and the mind and the emotions come into alignment, so that we're able to be in congruence with our highest self, so that we're able to really set the right intentions. Now, what's interesting about this is that we have a lot of energy going on right now in Sagittarius. We actually have Mars and Mercury in Sagittarius. And the sun and the moon are actually at the last degrees of Sagittarius, kind of pretty much creating a little bit of a conjunction with Pluto. So Pluto's a little bit influencing this moon. It has some influence in it, but we are also having the Mars and the Mercury coming together, guys. And this is where I do want to bring you some awareness, because Sagittarian energy is a beautiful energy of optimism, faith, and expansion, but it could also get very intense, get very bombastic, and get very exaggerating, and get very dramatic, and it can get very bold and intense. It's still a fire sign nonetheless. And when we have Mars and Mercury both being influenced here, guys, the number one thing that I want to say is that this new moon is really asking for us to temper ourselves. And if you guys know, in the tarot, temperance is the card of Sagittarius. Why? Because the Sagittarius works a lot better when it tempers itself. It's not going to go too extreme one way or too extreme another way. It's going to temper itself. And that's the reason why it has a shot. You know, you can't just throw the arrow everywhere. Like, the arrow has to be focused, and it has to bring that energy together to be focused. And we can definitely do this. However, we need to know that this is what we're doing. If not, we may start reacting in aggressive ways, in frustrated ways. We can have more irritability, we can have more anger, we can have more reactivity, we can have more, outbursts of frustration and outbursts of anger or outbursts of upsetness, because Mercury and Sagittarius are both very, very close to each other, especially if we're talking about belief systems. So if you're going to be having a debate with anybody about belief systems, religion, philosophy, it could be a great time. Like, you guys can definitely have some powerful debates, but it could also get into some sort of frustration and aggressiveness and anger here. So choose your battles wisely when we have Mars conjunct Mercury. And instead of preaching to others, try to reflect upon yourself. Are you living by your principles? Are you living by your moral code? Are you being a hypocrite? And this is kind of where we're at with this very powerful Sagittarian energy that is trying to help us break away, because what it is not it's a limitation outside of yourself. It's more of an own limitation that we place on ourselves that usually are mentally constructed. Usually it's just the mind. And so this is something that is telling us, like, be careful with overreactivity. Now, if you are able to have the strength to focus and bring concentration of the mind, then you can really make some powerful, powerful leaps forward with this Mars. This Mars and this Mercury, even though may cause a lot of issues, what it's trying to really get us to do is to get out of our comfort zones and to see that something in the way that we believe is limiting us. And it's time to change it. It's time to transform it. It's time to have a new expansion. And usually it's not until we get so uncomfortable that we finally decide to do something about it. And so this is kind of like what the planets are doing at this time. Now, what can transform all of this is faith, belief, optimism. If we fuel this energy with this, then it's going to be really good. And this is, again, all about a new beginning, the beginning of 2024. Now, we are also having an aspect of Jupiter in this, which is going to be very nice. This is going to expand the ability for us to focus, expand the ability for us to really be able to break through in creative ways. You got to think creatively, okay? You got to be creative, think creatively, think outside the box, stay playful, stay like a child in the fifth house, stay playful. Don't get so serious in the process. And you won't have these frustrations. You won't have these attacks of anger and frustration. You can actually channel your energy in a way that is fun and adventurous and wonderful. And remember, we are not doing this because we want to be famous or we want to have this or we want to have that. Of course, there's those things, but what the reason why we should really be doing this is because it makes us feel good. So I know I'm talking very complex, but this is for everybody because it's a collective reading. It's going to be different for everybody. So it's like, where is it that you're feeling limited? You need to think creatively so that you can get back to how it feels comfortable for you, how it feels good for you. This is trying to take you to more of your happiness. You just don't sacrifice your happiness for your career or the status or this thing. It's like, this is for you to go and do something that you actually feel good doing. And it's going to take effort. Saturn is in the third house. It's not going to be fully immediately. It's going to take effort. So when I see this is a new moon that is saying, hey, we're going to begin a new beginning, and it's going to be powerful, and you're going to be filled with enthusiasm and energy and potency to make this happen. And you're going to get creative. Hell, there might even be something that puts so much tension in you that you're going to have to think of something creative to try to get back into your harmony and into your peace and where you feel actually comfortable. But it's not going to be easy. We have to put the effort. We have to put the effort. This is an important thing. Now, the dispositor of this energy, of course, is Sagittarius, again in the fifth house. The first lord goes into the fifth house, really bringing a lot of creative energy. This is a time for us we have heightened intelligence that comes from our past life to help us get through this and to actually begin this new beginning the way we want to really start it. So tap into your wisdom and tap into your intelligence, because right now it's at an all-time high. Trust your decisions. We also have a switch of Mars and Jupiter here. That's also empowering this energy. And the degrees, the nakshatra where it falls in is Purvashadha, which is also ruled by Venus. And we're going to be talking about that now. So let's talk about the nakshatra. One last thing I do want to mention is, since we have such a close relationship with Pluto, this is about empowerment. Empowerment, guys. Either we break under the pressure of life turning us into diamonds, or we understand that we are ready for that next level. And we accept it and receive it with grace. Not immaturely, not like, oh my God, I'm not ready, but why me? No, like we accepted with grace, that we are ready to be empowered, that we're ready to step up into our highest power, and we're ready for a transformation. And if we resist this, this is when we're going to feel the Pluto energy really breaking us. So it's the time to get strong. These aspects right now are calling for us to get strong. And not strong, and this is now what we're going to talk about the nakshatra. So how do we get strong? And this is when we can decipher how to do this by going deep into the nakshatra. And the nakshatra that this beautiful new moon falls in is Purva Ashada. And Purva Ashada is the 20th nakshatra ruled by Venus. And is also in Sagittarius, therefore the co-ruler is Jupiter. And it's between 13 degrees Sagittarius to 26 degrees in Sagittarius. It's right at the heart of Sagittarius. And this nakshatra alone expresses so much of what Sagittarius is all about. This Purva Ashada is also ruled by the symbol of a fan. It's a very feminine symbol, and it's called the former invincible. So what I really love about this is that Purva Ashada is actually a very feminine energy. A fan, which is the symbol of it, and it's ruled by Venus, which rules all feminine things. And the goddess of this Purva Ashada is Apa, which is a goddess, a woman goddess, not a male. So this shows us that being the former invincible, this is what Purva Ashada means, the former invincible. Ashada means invincible, and Purva means before. So this nakshatra is the explanation of how it is that we begin something before we become victorious. So how is it that we can start something and we know that if we start it in that way, this will be victorious. It will have the signature of victory in it. And this is exactly what this nakshatra teaches us. And what's interesting, as I was mentioning, is also a female nakshatra. Therefore, now it makes sense why in the Rig Veda it says that the victory is for women. Women are the ones who rule the victory, especially because it shows here in the Ashadas and the nakshatras that are ruled by female. Apa, she is a goddess of power. She's also the goddess of water. She's a water goddess. So this makes it for a very fierce, severe, and balanced nakshatra. And Sagittarius is also not an easy sort of soft energy. It's a powerful also energy. So this shows the highest level of power that a woman can express, pretty much. It is the power of a female, fierce. Now, it teaches us as well that the way for us to be successful in an endeavor, for us to be victorious in an endeavor, like a female energy, we must have two things. Number one, enthusiasm. And number two, gather the resources that we need. And when I mention the resources, I mention all types of resources, from thoughts, habits, ways of thinking, people, money. Like resources is not just the money situation. Because even if you have all of that and you have all the money in the world to make an endeavor happen, if you don't have the imagination and the creativity and the charisma and the looks or whatever, there's so much more to it. That is not just having money. There's all types of resources that we need to gather in order for us to be successful. And also to stay enthusiastic. That's why this nakshatra is an energy of a fan. A fan is a tempering tool, is a tool that tempers either your heat because you're getting hot, so you fan yourself. So it tempers the hot within you. Or if, for example, I want to turn on a fire, I can fan the fire and the fire can go bigger and bigger. The energy of a fan is also very powerful because it also represents how we can hide, like women can hide, and they can expose. And this is very powerful. And so, again, very feminine energy teaching us how it is that we can be successful from the beginning in an endeavor. And this is so perfect for the new moon in 2024. Let's start it right. So what do we need to start 2024 right? We, today, on this beautiful new moon, we're going to plant the seeds of enthusiasm, and we're going to sit with ourselves and understand what is the resources that I need. my subtle resources from like the mindset that I need, the vocabulary that I need, the intelligence, the education that I need, to the physical things that we actually going to need to make it happen, or the people that we need, or the things that we need. So think with these two things, because one of the things that happens when we start a project is that the enthusiasm starts going down, and then the project falls through. So it is important that we temper our enthusiasm in ways that are going to help us keep going and succeeding. We have to keep the enthusiasm up. We have to keep the positivity up. This is why Sagittarius is the way that it is. Sometimes when you have a friend who's a Sagittarius, they're like, oh my God, you're like toxically optimistic. And yeah, it could be somewhat upsetting, but in reality, it's like this is how we get through the obstacles. Another symbol for Purvashadha is a raging elephant. So a raging elephant, when it's running, there's no obstacle in between. It bulldozes over anything. So why? Because from the beginning, it is successful by gathering its enthusiasm and gathering the assets that it needs, the resources that it needs to be successful. And when you have that, you can go through all the obstacles that you need to go through. So use this nakshatra to set the intention for the right enthusiasm to move forward. And what are the resources that I truly need? Sometimes we think that we need more resources, therefore we don't start, but we might already have all the resources that we need. We just don't want to accept it. So sit and analyze this so that you're able to set the right intentions for this new beginning. And you're going to temper your enthusiasm with the fan. You're going to fan the fire when you need to get pumped up about it. And you're going to cool yourself off if you're getting too intense about it. So this is the tempering energy of the Sagittarius. How we can become alchemists of our emotions. And if we go too much on one side, it's going to break it off. So this is what Purvashadha is really teaching us, how we can start this year being invincible. Use the fan and fan your life. Fan the fire of your passions. Fan the fire of your passions and cool off the anxiety that you wanted now, and cool off the frustrations that you're going through a learning curve. You know, all these things are going to be happening at the same time, but just don't lose your enthusiasm and keep gathering your resources. The people are there, the things are there, everything is there for you to start being successful. We also have very optimistic, unrealistic, insensitive, unique, and cruel. The power to invigorate. You see, we invigorate ourselves so that we're able to move forward. And we have this beautiful symbolism of the sailboat, because it's the air that helps that sailboat move forward. Okay? And we can do all of this in very graceful ways. We can do this in a very graceful way, like a woman. You know, this is how we become victorious. Not by sheer power of dominance and fear. You do it by the power of gathering resources. That's already very powerful. Women do this. And the ability to stay enthusiastic while we move forward. So exuberant is joy. Just do it. Just do it. Go for it. Show off. And then fan yourself if you're going a little bit overboard. It is a female energy. It is air. It is Brahman. It's human. And it's Rajasic, very full of passion. So this is something that is going to be very powerful for you guys. I am so excited. Definitely take advantage of this powerful new moon. And I'm going to give you guys a wonderful remedy that you can use for this new moon. And the wonderful remedy is obviously a mantra. Well, there's two things. Because this is such a wonderful nakshatra to reprogram ourselves in our belief systems, I actually have a Lakshmi abundance meditation, healing meditation that I've created, and is in the description here below. If you would like to purchase it, you can use this very powerful Lakshmi abundance meditation, healing meditation, so that you're able to reprogram yourself. And as well, you're going to be using the remedy of this mantra. Om Adabhayo Namaha. Om Adabhayo Namaha. Om Abadayo Namaha. And you want to repeat this mantra for 108 times minimum on this day under this beautiful new moon. This is going to harness the positive qualities of Purvashadha in your energies. If you have Purvashadha placements, this is going to be very powerful for you, so definitely do this. But we have these two remedies using the healing meditation in the description here below, as well as doing your mantra chanting of 108 times. If you don't have your own mala, your own japa mala, I also have in the description below a link to one of my favorite japa makers. She's a very good friend of mine, and she makes beautiful japas made out of beautiful crystals and different stones. So definitely check it out and get your own beads, your own japa, your own mala, so that you're able to start chanting and create that sacred union. Alrighty, so that is for the remedy, guys. Now, let's pull a little bit of some Vedic Oracle here for you guys, especially when it comes to this powerful new moon. I am very excited for this new moon. I feel like we all needed like a fresher breath air, and this is literally what is going to happen. But again, guys, temper yourselves. Is going to be, because we have Mars, we have Mercury, we have Pluto, so we can easily get a little too intense, too blunt, too yeah, you know, when Sagittarius get out a little bit overboard, we don't want to go there. So again, tempering yourself is going to be key. So what is the main message for this beautiful new moon in Purvashadha? Purvashadha new moon, and we're going to pick a Ram oracle here for this Purvashadha. Purvashadha, Purvashadha, Purvashadha. So we have the holy name is going to be the Ishtadev for this Purva, and victory. Oh my God, I love this. Victory, guys. We are ready to experience victory. So it says here, the defeat of negativity is imminent. The goal is attained at last. Hallelujah. We are getting there little by little. It says here, all's right in the world. Oh my God. It's going to be really good, guys. This is going to be a very, very good, victorious new moon. I want you guys to really set some powerful 6-month intentions, 2024 intentions for this very auspicious new moon. This is what we've been waiting for, to expand, guys. Especially if you've been feeling extremely limited in something. Use this power. Use that pissed offness or that anger or that upsetness to propel you into breaking through, into breaking through these limitations, okay? But a lot of faith is going to be necessary at this time, guys. Sagittarius does not work without any faith. So this is about surrendering and having faith in our intentions, keeping ourselves optimistic, happy, and good. Keep nurturing and focusing, getting creative, and temper those energies. Don't lose the enthusiasm, but don't get too upset either, because you're not getting it immediately. Like, temper those energies. What do we have for the new moon in Sagittarius, Purvashadha? Ooh, it's going to be a throat opener. And maybe we are needy. Maybe some people have been holding on to too many things deep down inside after this Mercury retrograde. Like the Mars very close to Mercury is like, spit it out, say it, go for it. Sometimes the Mercury stays thinking about it too much. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And sometimes Mars just needs to kick it in the butt and say, just do it. Just go. What are you waiting for? Spit it out. Say it. There's something right now that is trying to open your throat chakra. Open your truth. Your truth. This is about closing a major cycle. And it's going to be something difficult. I'm not saying this is going to be easy. Some of them will be able to close this major cycle, but others of you are going to feel like you're trapped in your mental constructs and in your psychological, in your philosophy, or in your way of thinking, or in your mindset, in your belief systems. This could be the thing that is not allowing for the full closure of this cycle to happen. So this is the time right now for you to really evaluate your belief systems. What do you believe about yourself, your success? What do you believe about success? What is success to you? What do you believe about love, relationships? Like, and really assess, like, are these beliefs helping me or are they not helping me? Because becoming a cynic in the world is not going to uplift you or anybody else is just cynicism. So Sagittarius is about optimism. And that's the way we're going to be able to see the light. The sun wants to come out. It wants to close this chapter. It wants to bring you back to that joy and that happiness. But we need to rest. We need to meditate. We need to go within. There needs to be some isolation. The thinking, as I was saying, reflecting on our morals, principles. Are we living by integrity? Are we living with hypocrisy? Like really assessing these things so that we're able to really step into our power. We may be feeling more tired than usual during this new moon. So take it easy. Don't over push yourself during this time. And as we do this, we're going to have our wish fulfilled. It will happen for us, guys. The wish and the fulfillments want to come through. But we just need to have the grace to accept this. It's already ours. But the only thing that's blocking it is maybe the belief that we're not ready to receive it, or maybe we have to prove ourselves more. It's going to be different for everybody. And I am having the personal horoscopes for this upcoming new moon. If you would like to see your personal horoscope, then definitely join my Patreon. There you can get also a ritual for this powerful new moon. So another message for this new moon is a debt paid off. You're already paying off your debts. You don't have to keep looking back. An old weight of anxiety and pressure is ready to be lifted off. Don't keep holding on to it. Let go of it. It's closing cycles, it's paying out karmas so that you can really begin this new 2024 fully embracing it. Anybody who's in a relationship right now, you guys are in a karmic past life relationship and there's unfinished business between the both of you. And this is the reason why it feels so intense, okay? Those of you who maybe it's just a relationship that has a lot of karmas that need to get cleansed. So be patient. Temper yourself and your reactivity to your partner. Clearing out debts. This is cleaning out the debts. This new moon is clearing you, putting you back into zeros so that you can begin from here. You don't owe anybody anything emotionally. You don't owe anything anymore. 2023 is done. Close the chapter, close the cycles, close the debt, the emotional, physical, or mental, or financial debt. It's time to finish those debts, but it's really bringing you back to zero so that you can kind of begin a new energy for yourself. Really empowering. Very much empowering. And one last message that I want to give you guys here, a collective message for this powerful new moon in Purvashadha, new moon in Purvashadha, new moon in Purvashadha. And we have surrender to non-action. Right now, because this new moon, you might feel like, I want to do everything at once. And we temper ourselves. So now is the time to stay a little bit more still. You're not going to lose the enthusiasm. Keep going. But you're also not going to conquer Rome in a day. So this day of the new moon, surrender to non-action and just sit. Don't fall for the impulses so much and just sit so that you can find that clarity of where it is that you want to shot your arrow for this Sagittarian new moon. Alrighty, guys, so those were your messages. Thank you so much for being here. And remember that one of the best solutions for 2024, if you want to have the most successful 2024, then definitely get my Astral Agenda 2024. This Astral Agenda is the perfect companion for you to be able to have all the transits and plan your whole year accordingly to the stars for the greatest success. It also has worksheets for new moons, full moons, eclipses, and so much more. So get yours today in Amazon in the link here below. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the support. I truly appreciate it. And thank you for all that you guys do for me. I truly love you guys so much. I am so blessed that I can be of service to you. Sending everybody so much love. And I hope that you have a beautiful new moon this January 11th.